actor, thespian, sportsman, all-around good guy, Michael Rapaport. The podcast on Barstool Sports called I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. Are you a sportscaster now? Like, what's the title? Are you still an actor?
Of course I'm still an actor. No, I'm not a sportscaster. I'm just a fan. I'm a trash-talking fan.
They gave you your own show to just be a fan.
Well, in a nutshell, Dan. But I know what I'm talking about. I know a lot.
You do?
I know a lot about a lot.
All right.
You look at me skeptical when I say I know a lot about a lot.
I do. Just a little bit.
No, don't look at me skeptical.
All right. If we did a dream category on Sports Jeopardy, where would you dominate?
Dominate. Basketball, NBA. That would be basketball, NBA, 80s, 90s basketball. I would be good. But when you get into the sports nerds, like this crew over here, and you know, I don't think I would dominate anything because I'm more of like, I go with my gut and my heart, but I know what I know, and I also know what I don't know, which they might not know that. The nerds, okay. the data stat people.
Well, that's just McLovin. He's the only nerd over there.
Look at McLovin.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
He's absolutely
fantastic, man.
I have no idea what I don't know. I think I know everything.
Yeah, as you should. Those glasses. I mean, it's like cheating wearing the glasses.
That's the dead giveaway with he's a nerd?
Just the glasses, you know, it gives you a sense of like I'm smarter than you. And I'm like, no, you just can't see.
Yeah, and that's what it is with me. McLovin's, those aren't prescription. My glasses are prescription. I just can't see.
That's a prop.
I'm guessing 80s Knicks basketball you probably do well on?
80s Knicks, 80s in general, you know, anything like, 80s basketball, 80s Knicks, but I'm pretty savvy in the Knicks. Are you going to give me some sort of quiz?
No.
This is my life?
No. You did a documentary on the Knicks.
Yes.
I'm assuming you know a lot about the New York Knicks.
I know a couple of things. Right. I'm no expert, but I know a couple of things.
What could make you stop rooting for the Knicks? Because I got to believe you got to be close to not wanting to root for them.
Well, I mean, the heart does what the heart does, so they'll never not be my favorite team, and I'll never not have like an emotional connection to them. I'm pretty close to not being invested because I'll be honest, it started with the Charles Smith thing. That's when I started, like if we were married, that's when I started looking around.
At other women?
Other
teams.
Other women, other teams, other guys, whatever you want, however you want to, mix it up. Because of the pain. So I'm always going to root for the Knicks, but as a fan of the sport, like, you know, I got a lot of flack because I was really, really, really pushing and rooting for Golden State to win, as if the season and being a fan of basketball ends when the Knicks stop playing, which is always going to be earlier than most teams. Yeah. So that being said, I mean, I don't think I'll ever not. They'll always be my favorite team. I grew up here, right here in Manhattan. You can't take that away.
What would you say if Phil Jackson walked in right now?
I would say the biggest thing with the Phil Jackson thing for me is the public disrespect of Carmelo. Whether he's right, whether he's wrong, whether Carmelo holds the ball too long, whether he's not the star that they're paying him to be, the public disrespect, the tweeting. What good is it? Have a conversation with him. You don't need to air him out. If Carmelo's flawed as a player, doesn't mean anything. And also, where were you when Derrick Rose disappeared, and where were you during the Oakley situation? We wanted to hear from you. We didn't want to hear from James Dolan. We want to hear from you. You're Phil Jackson. Are you aware what you mean to us? Are you aware how you can sort of cool our temperament by having communication with the fans, not just communicating when you feel like it? And then when you communicate, the big thing that you're doing is bashing our star player, whether he's everything he's cracked up to be or not. You signed him. You did the contract. For you to publicly disrespect him like that, I've never seen it. I mean, let me ask you. You're an expert. McLovin, you wear glasses. Have you ever seen a president of a team, whether it's football, basketball, or baseball, publicly diss a guy like that at the end of the season when it means nothing, who's done nothing wrong, like he's not like he's a criminal or anything like that. What good are you doing it? And I was proud of Porzingis for not showing up to the closeout meeting. He should get praised for that. He figured it out in 2 years, what some people take 10 years to figure out. Like to quote the great Michael Ray Richardson, this ship be sinking. Porzingis figured that out in 2 years.
But why does Porzingis want to stay here when he sees what management's doing to Carmelo Anthony?
You could be upset. You could be frustrated. You could not want to have a closeout meeting and still want to stay here. Just like I could be a fan, love the Knicks, and be critical. You know, just like it's like you want things to be better. You know, I've gotten flack because I speaking out and I talk, you know, I can't say S word. I talk crap about the Knicks. And then it's like I'm not being a loyal fan. Like, what are we? We're not in a relationship. And if we're in a relationship, me not speaking out is crazy. And if we're in a relationship, I've been emotionally abused.
Yeah.
The fans have been emotionally abused. So it's like you can love the team, want the team to do well, and still be very, very openly frustrated and critical.
He's Michael Rapaport. He's got a few opinions, and he knows what he knows, and he knows what he doesn't know. He's got a podcast on Barstool Sports, also one of the hosts of the 3-on-3 Ice Cube League.
Big Three.
Big Three. Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Great debut. The games, the first games at Barclays were sold out. Very intense, very, very competitive. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be good, and I think the season's going to be good.
And perfect time of the year, because you guys can own this time of the year.
Yep.
The fact you're going to have 3-on-3 in the Olympics.
Yep.
So you can get people kind of ready for that.
Yep.
Who's the best player in the Big Three League?
Oh, that's a good question. The first week, I'd say the best players were Rashard Lewis, Deshaun Stevenson, Reggie Evans, Andre Owens, Razul Butler. Those are the guys that had the best first week. People got all bent out of shape because Allen Iverson, you know, went 1 for 12. It's like when he played, he went 1 for 12 all the time. No one batted an eye. So AI, you know, he just didn't have a great game. But it's going to be good. And I think that, you know, going forward, because this league is going to last and it's going to be a hit. When the gap closes between retirement and playing in the Big Three, it's going to get even more competitive. Like, because AI and the guys I just mentioned, they've been out of the league for a few years. But I think guys are going to be like 1 year retired or retire and then, you know, sign on to the Big Three. It's going to get more competitive, bigger names. And, you know, Ice Cube is a big idea guy. You know, he left NWA when they were at the top. People thought he was nuts to go solo. You know, he started making movies that were PG-13. Like, what are you doing? You're Doughboy, you're Ice Cube, you're Doughboy from Boys in the Hood. But he's such a big idea, you know, business guy. And to be able to pull this off, all the bells and whistles and the rights and the promotion and the arenas and everything, and to get it on TV in a short period of time, because this idea, I believe, you know, was less than a year old. To get it up there and to get it done, to sell out Barclays week 1, it's him and his crew. And you know, I'm just such a fan to be that close to Iverson, to be able to interview Dr. J. I was giddy. Like, I was literally like, my heart was racing so much to be able to interview Doc, to be able to be, you know, there with George Gervin, to be able to interview the real king of New York, Charles Oakley. I was giddy. It took me about 2 or 3 hours to get past that and to be more professional, because, like, Doc was like, he's everything to me.
When's the final weekend or week of the season? The
finals are the 26th of August, which is the same day of the Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather pillow fight. The games are in Vegas, I think at 1 p.m. It's all worked out. It's going to be great. We get all the Vegas dreck, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And everything is sort of worked out, because even the McGregor-Mayweather, you know, they were sharing an arena thing, is going to bring a bigger crowd, got more eyes on it. And
we have an idea, though.
What?
Halftime show.
Yes. You want to tell the idea before? It was a secret.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you want to get credit when you go to Ice Cube?
Yeah, I'm going to say I thought of this idea.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, tell the idea.
No.
Go ahead.
No, you.
No,
can,
go.
you can, okay.
I was talking to Dan before we got on air.
Yes.
And I was saying, Dan, don't you think it would be a great idea during the finals?
Halftime.
Halftime in Vegas.
Yes.
With the entire world watching.
Maybe not the entire world, but a lot of people.
A lot of people will be there.
Yeah. And then at halftime, your show would be.
This was my idea.
Yeah, of course it was.
to do an NWA reunion concert and have this was definitely my idea to have Eminem fill in for the late great Eazy-E.
Yes.
And sort of do that. Now, whether or not Cube wants to do that, I don't know, but I'll take credit, and Dan will try to steal it.
No. It's. I think your idea. It became your idea about 3 minutes ago.
Yes.
But
after you said it,
could you imagine though? You just start to hear Straight Outta Compton, and people think that's just house music, and all of a sudden Dre, Ice, Eminem, and they just walk out.
It would be dope.
People would go.
MC Ren, you can't forget MC Ren.
That would be.
You know about MC Ren, Dan. Come on, man.
I need my Raiders hat on right now.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break here. I want you to gather yourself. You need some water here. The voice is gone. You can't be a talk show host. You can't be a sportscaster.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry. I think you're a little threatened by the fact that you said sportscaster twice. I don't have the golden pipes that you have, Dan, or the knowledge.
Oh, I know that.
Or the skill.
Oh.
Because people think what you do is easy. It ain't easy. You make it look easy.
But you got a fastball. It's just you need to add a couple other pitches.
Yes. Yeah, but
you're Syndergaard.
I'm Syndergaard. I'm Goose Gossage. But
you're bringing it.
I'm bringing it. I'm not doing any tricks.
No
knuckleballs.
No.
And I'm throwing it down the middle, or I'm trying to hit you high.
You're basically saying, here's my best stuff. Go hit it.
Go for it.
All right. It's 17 after the hour. We'll continue with the sportscaster Michael Rapaport right after this. Did you watch the NBA awards last night?
After I watched the Big Three.
Is somebody blowing you up on your phone there?
Well, I'm on the Dan Patrick show.
I know that.
Thing's going to break.
Is Ice Cube, he might not be up right now.
He's probably up.
But, we got to let Cube know the great idea you had.
Yes.
As we get...
Yes. Yeah. I came up with the whole thing on my own. And Dan Patrick is trying to steal it.
No. I'm going to co-sign on it is what I'm going to do.
But to answer your question, I did watch the NBA awards last night, and they really bothered me. I watched it after I, of course, watched the premier games of the Big Three, which they calling me the Howard Cosell of the Big Three. I'm humble about it, but that's what I didn't come up with that on my own. They're saying, "Oh, you're like the Howard Cosell of 2017." I'm like, I'm flattered by it. But that's what they're saying. But I watched.
Who's they?
I don't want to name names. I mean, if you look on Twitter, you look up Howard Cosell, Michael Rapaport, you'll see the correlation. Right. I don't do the statistics and the data of how it got that way.
Fair enough. It
might start with my tweet and then end with my tweet, but
like I'm the Howard Cosell of the Big Three.
But they're calling me that.
Yeah.
But I did watch the awards. They really bothered me. I thought Russell Westbrook, obviously he deserved the MVP, but he deserved it 2.5 months ago.
Yeah, that's my problem with it.
We had to wait 2.5 months, 2 hours, and I believe 7 minutes before he got the award.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. That award and that award show sort of is the final statement for basketball of 2017. And it gives the impression that winning the regular season MVP is somehow more important than winning the NBA championship. It gives the impression that winning the regular season MVP is somehow more important than winning the finals MVP. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that ring. And I think that, this presentation 2.5 months after the fact, it really skews what's important. And nobody's talking that the NBA had a sanctioned award last night on TV for the most stylish player. This is where we are in professional sports. This is the skinny genification of sports. They gave an award to an NBA player for most stylish. So next year, people are going to go out of their way and be like, well, Russell won it this year. The outfits are going to get crazier.
Why not have the Clyde Frazier Award?
Period. Thank you.
Right? The most stylish player, the Clyde Frazier Award goes to Dwayne Wade.
That's another great idea that I just came up with here on.
You did. You're killing it.
But they should call it that at least.
How about the worst dresser?
It could go to the best dresser. It depends on what your taste is. The worst dresser could be the guy who wins the best dresser. You know, because
that's true.
Those outfits,
it's in the eye of the beholder.
Not everybody wants to show up to a game looking like a shower curtain. Russell Westbrook, who I couldn't talk more highly about as a player, incredible. Sometimes he shows up to the game looking in the same pattern that I have as my shower curtain.
Don't hate.
I'm not hating.
It feels like you're hating.
No. Why am I hating?
I don't know. Just
what?
Because you couldn't wear it, therefore it feels like.
I could wear it, and the wildest thing about.
No, you couldn't wear it.
I could wear the shower curtain look that Russell Westbrook sometimes does. But the wildest thing about it is Russell Westbrook has showed up to games in like it's Halloween every day. Yet last night, somehow he dressed down. I don't know why he didn't just go full out. Like he was wearing a suit and tie. He looked uncomfortable in a suit and tie. So, obviously.
Do you yell all the time?
I usually do. Do I sound like I'm yelling? I'm straining.
Yeah, because I have headphones on. I can hear you. And we're only about 5 feet apart here.
Well, you know what it is, Dan? I'm just excited.
I know.
I'm a fan.
I love your enthusiasm. I'm trying to protect your voice. Pick your spots. Modulate here. So if you need to go up like that, then you can come down like that.
But what if you're just up like that all the time? You can just turn my volume on, like to a certain thing.
I'm just trying to preserve.
What do I got to do to make it into your Sports Illustrated blurb thing? You know, I've had a Sports Illustrated subscription for since 1977, literally. I read it weekly, and I love your piece in there, which I believe is derivative from this.
Yes.
You know, McEnroe's going to be here. I'm sure you're going to have A-list guests all week.
Yes, that's true.
I think that, just a page in there, McEnroe, he wouldn't even be aware that it happened. I got it. If I made the Sports Illustrated Dan Patrick page early in the this week's issue, I'd have it framed and put on my wall. Johnny Mac doesn't care.
If McEnroe doesn't show up and Sidney Crosby doesn't call in, then I'm going to try to get you in there.
And let me tell you something. I don't care what Sidney Crosby says. The fact that he's not going to actually be here, he shouldn't make it into the Sports Illustrated thing. I don't care what kind of hockey player he is.
So if it's between you and McEnroe.
It's between me and McEnroe.
And he's been controversial lately.
He's been controversial lately, but I totally agree. I don't think it's controversial at all. I think the person who's controversial is the person who interviewed him.
The NPR host.
She should be ashamed of herself. First of all, with her unsanitized voice, it sounds soulless. And like it's just like that NPR voice, and she
you couldn't be an NPR voice.
Why would I want to be?
Give me Rapaport does NPR.
Hi, how are you, Dan? You have to enunciate everything.
Everything.
Every single thing. It has to be very clean, clear, and the enunciation is also part of the nerd thing. It's like you say every word.
Emotionalist,
and it's just very like it's like watching paint dry. Listening to your voice is like watching paint dry. And you baited John McEnroe, and you knew exactly what you were doing, and he told you the truth. And now she's going to be talked about because of her interview with John McEnroe, which is totally true. Serena,
but it's unfair to Serena that she's brought into this.
But we make sports comparisons all the time.
But we shouldn't make men and women. Why do we make men and women comparisons?
Because it's sports. And why, if we do it in sports, and why if we do it in men and women, all of a sudden it becomes misogyny and a social issue. Serena is great. Nobody loves Serena as much as I love Serena, Dan. I've been a fan of her since she first came on the scene. I love her game. I love her style. I love her sister. I love her father. I love her whole story. I was literally, and I'm a happily married man. My wife is the best. But when I found out she was married and now pregnant, there was a little part of me that was jealous, and I felt like she was the one that got away. That being said, what he said is totally valid. And, that being said, if Steffi Graf would be in the top 900.
Do you think when you got married that Serena said, damn, that might be the one that got away?
I know that for a fact.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I wanted to see both sides of this. Okay. Whenever somebody says, Annika Sorenstam, what a great golfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how would she do on the men's tour? Serena, what a great tennis player. Yeah, but how would she do against the men?
Bill Russell, greatest player of all time. How would he do in the 80s? How would he do against DeAndre Jordan? Brian Scalabrine, he sucked now, but he'd be great during the Bill Russell era. It's part of sport.
But that's men to men. That's at least you're staying in the sport.
But if we want to have equal rights and we want things to be a level playing field, why can't we have this discussion if we're talking about sports? If you want to talk about, I love the Williams sisters. I love Serena. Where were all these feminists? Where was this NPR reporter when Diana Taurasi became the leading scorer in the WNBA history? Why wasn't anybody in uproar about that? Where was Lena Dunham and Amy Schumer when that happened?
Why does there have to be an uproar?
Because I'm just saying, it's like...
You mean celebrated?
Why wasn't it celebrated? Why were you like, where are all these people that are upset by McEnroe's thing? And then somehow McEnroe's comments, not only does it become misogyny and anti-women, somehow or another, race has been thrown in there too. It's like people want to get upset and protest every single thing with their entitlement. Listen, go eat applesauce. You got to spoon feed them everything. Like they're like these little babies. It's like,
But why do you let the people bother you?
They don't bother me. I'm just...
Yeah, but you're getting bothered by this.
Don't flatter yourself. This is just the way I am.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. Well, wow. Yeah. Okay. Fist pumping, or you're doing some kind of pumping. Yeah. You killed it, man.
Oh my God.
You're killing it. Yeah. All right.
I love you, Dan.
I just thought you were a little too invested.
You know what it is? It's no. It's not. I'm not invested. How long is this show every day?
3.
3 hours. So you're like sort of like you're doing your thing, but I'm here for like a little blast.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
3 hours of this, like you're like part of you.
I couldn't do that.
Part of you's like you're like in Tahiti. I'm fully right here, right now with you. You know what I'm saying?
If you're here, I'm here.
I know, but if you're here, I'm here.
When you leave, I'm not here.
Is there a little part of you that's in Saint-Tropez? Like, I wish I was in Saint-Tropez.
No.
All right.
No, I'm right here. I'm locked in on you. You know where I am? Halftime, Big 3, NWA comes out, does the halftime show.
Forget Eminem.
That's
Why don't you do the Eazy Stuff? You want to talk about break the internet? You have the reunion of NWA, and then the person who comes in to fill in Eazy is the guy who came up with the idea, Dan Paxton. He comes out straight out of Compton, a crazy mother named Danny.
Straight out of Compton, mother named.
Now you got flavor, dude.
Yeah,
you could do it.
Yeah, you probably could there. Probably, yeah, Paul.
I could get you your old Raider starter jacket out of the back.
I like that. I have that. Is there any other thing that you want to get off your chest before I send you on your merry way and I start thinking of Saint-Tropez?
I think that next year for the NBA awards, the reporters that left off LeBron James, because one reporter left him off of the All-NBA first-team ballot. One reporter somehow left Westbrook off the first-team All-NBA ballot. And Isaiah Thomas got 1 vote for All-Defensive Team. These people should sit in the front row. And instead of having Drake do a monologue that he didn't come up with or write himself, you give the mic to those people and you say, please come to the stage, explain. Yourself. And you explain yourself. And they don't have any time to write it. You go, start talking. You left LeBron James off the first All-NBA team, and you
I like
left,
that.
Yeah, that'll make for good. Like, let's mix it up a little. It's the NBA. It's sports. It ain't the frickin', it's not like nobody there, I mean, they made the Oscars look like it wasn't taking themselves serious enough.
What do you think of Drake as a host?
I thought he was good. He's talented. He sort of could do anything. He had his, he's half Jewish, half black. So
He's sort of the Lenny Kravitz.
He's the Lenny Kravitz of hip-hop. He's very talented, and he had his bar mitzvah voice on last night, and he did good.
What's the bar mitzvah voice?
He just was very clean and sanitized, and, he wasn't flowing like he does as a rapper. Drake he's dope. He's dope.
How about he just raps the entire show? What if he just did, that way?
That would be great.
Deliver it that way.
He's very talented. Drake is very, very talented, and I thought he was a very good host. I think
he loves it. He's into it, and I appreciate that.
He loves it. He's into it. I don't think he ever played. I think he's a great fan. I don't think Drake ever played in any level of organized basketball.
No. Well, he did the layup line at the University of Kentucky.
And he almost killed himself, and he shot like consecutive air balls.
Yes, he did. Yes. He's Michael Rapaport, actor, lifelong Knick fan, and podcast on Stool Sports called I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. Yeah.
And the Howard Cosell this summer's Big Three.
Big Three, of course. Big Three. And the guy who came up with the idea of the reunion, NWA, that final weekend of the Big Three.
All on my own.
You did it all. He did it all. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Michael Rapaport. We'll take a break here. We'll send him on his merry way. Sidney Crosby at the top of the hour. Not in studio, by the way, but John McEnroe will be.
Johnny Mac.
Yes.
You know, Johnny Mac, he used to play tennis with my father out in Long Island City before it got totally gentrified out there. He was always nice to my father. He actually John McEnroe told my father to keep it down on the tennis court.
Did he talk like you talk?
Not even at the same level, but he had the Rapaport genes, obviously. And my father's still alive, but he's retired from tennis. Museum quality strokes. Beautiful backhand. One-handed backhand. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
One-handed backhand. Ask Johnny Mac about him.
Oh, I will.
That's
my first question.
Segment, yeah.
That's my first question.
What was Rapaport's father's backhand like?
Like museum quality strokes.
Trust me. Museum quality.
I'm not going to bring up Serena to McEnroe. I want to talk about your dad. We'll take a break here. We're back after this on The Dan Patrick Show.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.